Hi everyone, it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel, The Daily DIYer. I am so super excited to have you here today. I have some brand new lemon decor themed DIYs I want to share with you. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's tutorials. We're going to start with the lemon themed welcome sign. I have a 1x8 piece of common board cut down to 30 inches long. I've also sanded it so it's prepped and ready to go. I'll be using gray, yellow, green, and white chalk paint for this. And you also need a foam paintbrush, one for each color. And then I have a stencil that I created on my Silhouette Cameo and cut out of Oramask stencil material. The very first thing I did was coat my sign with 2 coats of the Waverly white chalk paint. Next, I applied my stencil to the front of the sign. Unfortunately, because this stencil is so large, I will not have it in my Etsy shop, but I will have the file, so you can purchase the SVG file or the JPEG file and use it within your own Silhouette or Cricut programs, and then you can scale your sign to the size that you want. Once I had it applied to the front of the wood, I took my gray elephant chalk paint and gave all of the letters 2 coats. And then I used my yellow chalk paint for the lemon, of course. This is in the color Maisie. So I did 2 coats of that, and then once the lemon was finished, I added the green chalk paint for the stem, which is in the color Celery. I also did a little bit of shading and blending on the lemon to give it some more depth, so it wasn't just flat yellow. And then once all of the paint was dried, I was able to come back and remove my stencil. Now at this point, you can spray your sign with a clear matte finish, which is what I like to do to seal it in, especially if you're going to be using it outside. And then you can move on and add your detail to the top. So I'm just using a 4-ply jute for this. I just wrapped it around a few times and then tied a knot, and it was ready for the front porch. And next is this lemon themed tray, which literally only costs about $2 to make because I'll be using nautical rope and a burner cover from the Dollar Tree. Also my Maisie yellow and white chalk paint and foam paintbrushes again. I flipped the burner cover upside down and then gave the whole inside 3 coats of the yellow chalk paint. It's kind of a pale yellow, so it takes a couple coats to really get a good coverage. And once it was completely dry, you can see here it darkens up after you add a few coats and it dries. I just used my white chalk paint and a chisel nylon brush to create the lemon design. It's actually really simple. Don't let this process scare you. I just created a circle around the outside and kind of made some little flower petals on the inside, and then you get that circle center kind of naturally. And I also went back and did 2 coats of this to make sure the white stood out from the yellow background. Then I just cut a couple lengths of the nautical rope and hot glued them onto the sides to give it some handles. Next is this felt lemon banner, which is so cute. It kind of turned mini size. You can make this bigger if you want. I'm using yellow and green felt. Mine is stiff, but you could use regular felt too. I also have my jute and some ribbon on hand. a sharp pair of scissors, and then this is a template. I just found a lemon and printed it off from Google and used it as a template, so that way all of my lemons were the same size and the same shape pretty much. And I also cut out the little leaves, but honestly, you probably could freehand this without a stencil even, and then just use one of your lemons and one of your leaves as a template to get the same size and a consistent look. But mine, I just made mini size because I wanted it on the front of my little box on my coffee bar. So I just used 5 of the little lemons. Of course, you could make yours longer too. Once all of my pieces were cut, I used my hot glue to glue the little leaves onto the backs of the lemons. And I did that for all 5 of them just so they all looked the same, but you could move your leaves around too and give them all a little bit different of a look. I think they're so cute. These are so tiny. They're probably only about 2.5 inches long. And then I just, instead of poking holes in all of the lemons, I glued them straight onto the back of jute. And then I used a scrap piece of yellow felt that I had cut off earlier to kind of make a little band-aid in the back so that the string would stay attached to the lemon felt. And since I am transforming my whole coffee bar into this lemon theme for summertime, I took some of my existing Rae Dunn and I'm just going to flip them over and make them lemon themed. So these are all decals that I'll have in my Etsy shop, which is crossingmyheart.com. You'll get this whole set of 6 in the set, but if you have a vinyl cutter, I use the font The Skinny, and I also use matte black Oracle number 651 vinyl to create these decals. You can easily do this yourself too. And I'm just taking the vinyl and I'm going to apply it to the front of all of the clay pieces. This is my pitcher, which I have always wanted it to say lemonade, so finally it does. You just kind of rub on the front, peel off the transfer tape on the front, and then you're left with a beautiful design. And you can see here, I actually found a little treasure inside my lemon squeezer or lemon juicer. Mine said fresh on the front, and I've always wanted it to say squeeze, and I don't know why, but I went ahead and bought the one that I found, and then finally now my juicer has the word on the front of it that I've always wanted it to say. So this is just a super easy way to kind of transform things you already have. If you don't have Rae Dunn, you can also do this to any coffee mug and any canister. You can even take these and put them on bowls. You can put them on wood and create signs with them. So there's lots of different things that you can do with these decals. So here's a look at my updated Rae Dunn, but I hope you'll also sit back and enjoy a little mini tour of my updated lemon themed coffee bar. If you'd like to take a look at last year's lemon DIYs, I will link that on the screen. And you can also find those decals that I featured in today's video down in the description box or at crossingmyheart.com. I want to thank you all so very much for watching today. I hope this inspired you, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye, everyone.